reason you can't just tell them these things. You have to bring reasoning, you have to bring knowledge. It has to make sense. And there is the point where we lose our children. We lose our youth. And then we start weeping and crying and we begin blaming each other. The father blames the mother, or she did not cooperate in this sense, otherwise my children would be very good. And these women are going to blame the men. They did not provide the time. They never spent time with the children. They were always out. They kept working. And so because of the father, I lost. Because of the husband, I lost our children. So they are going to blame each other. And then sometimes they will blame these centers, these managements, and their ulama and zakirin. That's how we normally do. Nobody is ready to take the responsibility. Everybody is going to blame the other person. The alim is going to say, I am here, but you guys don't show up. Then the management would say that they have their own excuses. And parents, they have their own excuses. So everybody has excuse. And eventually, we will lose these children, we will lose these youth, and we can't afford of losing even one Muslim kid. Even a single Muslim kid, if we lose, we have lost a generation. And even many generations to come. So my brothers and sisters, that is very important issue. That is why one time, companions of Prophet, they saw one companion that who was crying. And they said, why are you crying? They said, I was extremely concerned about myself, that how I will be able to keep myself on Sirat-e-Mustaqim, and how I will pass all this test and go in the Jannah, and how can I protect myself from the hellfire. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed another ayat, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. O people of faith, you must protect yourselves and your families also from the hellfire. Because I am crying that I was even worried about myself, and Allah says that you have to protect your family as well. So it's a task, my brothers and sisters. It is a big task, particularly in this society, where the trend is totally opposite of our trends. The values are totally opposite. The priorities are totally opposite. The environment is totally opposite. And we are playing with the fire. And you put the, as they say, the butter just near to the fire, and then you expect that it does not melt. It should not melt. It is a big risk of coming to these societies. I am not one of those ulama that who says that it is not jaiz to come here, or it is forbidden to come here, but I always say it is a challenge. It is a challenge. It is, you have to accept the challenge when you come to these societies, and if you want to live here. I don't say that it is not jaiz or it is not halal. The whole world belongs to us. Lillahi al-mashriq wal-maghrib. The east and west both belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are no barriers. And we can go and live wherever we want, provided that we will keep our faith and we will remain a good, practicing and spirited Muslim. That is the condition. But my brothers and sisters, to remain a good, practicing and spirited Muslim, it is not a job which any individual can do just by himself. You need some support. First of all, you need knowledge, because you can't practice without knowledge. And if somebody will practice without knowledge, he will go against the reality. He will not go closer to the reality. You need guidance. You go in the right direction. But if you go to the wrong direction, then you are even going further from the haqq, not only closer to the haqq. So the first thing what you need is the knowledge. And then not only knowledge is not going to help, you need examples to follow. Humankind is always in need of examples. That is why Allah sent 124,000 prophets and MASOMeen alayhimus salatu wassalam to the mankind. If it was only knowledge, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could only send these books to us and knowledge to us, just a revelation in a manner of book we would receive, and then we would just follow like manuals. But we could not. We cannot just follow the books. Only books and materials are unable to provide the full guidance. If that was the case, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not send prophet after prophet, prophet after prophet. And if only book was able to help and guide and inspire, then as I always say, that prophet would say that inni tarikun fikum kitab Allah, not say inni tarikun fikum ussaqalain. Kitab Allahi wa itrati ahla baiti, I am leaving a book behind me for you to teach you and guide you, and my itrat to set examples for you and inspire you. Inni tarikun fikum ussaqalain. Two things, the book and the teachers. If only book was enough, then these colleges and universities would not spend the huge amount on these professors and on these lecturers. They would just put everything in the internet and everything in the libraries, and the main expense of these colleges and universities goes in the research and spending on these professors and lecturers and researchers and the teachers and instructors. They would just put these books of medicine in medical college, and these doctors, they have just would gone to the medical schools and just read the books and become doctors. Have anybody become doctors so far just by reading the books of medicine without going to those teachers and instructors and through the lecturers and professors? So far, we don't know any doctor of that kind. And if somebody would say I am that kind of doctor, nobody dares to go to him to get surgery by him. So there is a system which you follow. So there are books, there is a knowledge, but then there are teachers and there are guides. So my brothers and sisters, we need knowledge, and in order to need knowledge, we need teachers. We need guides, and then also we need examples. We need examples, good examples. The leaders in the community, the elderly, the grown ones, the peers, the parents, they have to set and provide those examples, not only advice. I think in English they say that 1 ounce of example is better than 1 ton of advice. 1 ounce of example is better than 1 ton of advice. Because human being always wants to see examples, not only the advice. And particularly from parents, children get fed up just with the advice. Again and again and again, if parents just keep giving them lecture, normal complaint, the complaint which kids make more than any other complaint about their parents is that they always lecture us. They keep lecturing. Whenever they get opportunity, just they sit down and give us a speech. And they get tired of it. And it has even negative effects. Be careful about that. Advise your children, but don't go to the extremes. Tell them what is right and what is wrong. I'm not saying that don't do that, but don't go to the extreme. It is always good to have the moderation and wait for the right time and the right scenario where you give your advice. But what you can do is that provide inspiring examples in your everyday life and create the environment where your children get influenced by it. You need to create that environment at home. They bring children in the Sunday school, and then after a while they would say, oh, I am bringing my children in Sunday school from so much time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, and my children are still not fluent in Quran. They don't read books, they can't make prayer, they don't do this, they don't do that. How a child is going to become fluent in reading Quran when he sees Quran and opens Quran only in Sunday school once a week for 1 hour or 2 hours? It is impossible. If parents are reading Quran every day and then they create that environment where children also read this, so they will become fluent. If parents are not making prayer, how they expect from a child who is student of Sunday school that Sunday school will do a magic and this child will go back and he will start making prayer and he will become Salman Farsi? So only, this is not a Sunday school, my brothers and sisters. This cannot be done only by alim from this member. It cannot be done only by the centers. Basically, centers and ulama and the Sunday schools are only supporters. But you know, actually, this is what people are missing. The real job, the prime job of training and guiding and teaching is up till the parents. That is the parents' job. You know, parents, they start teaching their newborn whenever he gets the ability of learning. That's how you do. You start teaching him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You start teaching him A, B, C, D, E, F. You start teaching him Alif, Ba, Ta, Sa. You tell him this is chair, this is table, this is right, this is left. That is how you teach. Then a time comes where you feel that now you need professional help. Now you don't have that much time to concentrate on that kid. So you are actually seeking some assistance, some support, some help, some supplementary program. So you send him to the kindergarten, you send him again. Then when you see that no, this institute cannot help you anymore, you go to the grade school, then you feel that no, you need this help at higher level, go to school, college, university, but that is all help. Similarly is the Sunday school. The original duty of teaching and upbringing is the duty of the parents at home. And if parents just send their children to a school, to Sunday school, to masjid, to madrasa, to majlis, and then say this is the job of these guys because we have sent our children there, now they have to make them the intellectuals and they have to make them the scholars and the scientists and Salman Farsi and Abu Zar Ghaffari, then that is a totally misunderstanding of this concept. That is why you see only these are the knowledgeable families, the learned families, those normally who produce the learned kids. Normally these are the practicing community which produce the practicing kids. Have you ever noticed that? Normally, I'm not talking about exceptions, but normally the chances are that if parents are learned and if they are doing their job in this regard at home, the chances are that their children will do good in education. And if parents are religious and they are in the practice of religion and they are taking care of halal and haram and they are aware of their religious duties and they created that religious environment at their home, the chances are that their children are going to be practicing and religious. That is a basic fact, like just 2 and 2 both. It does not need any logic and any philosophy to explain that. But how can we do? So first we need to learn the knowledge, and it means some will say, Maulana, should we go back now to the madrasa? Should we go back? But actually you know that utlubul ilma min al mahdi ilallah. You keep learning the knowledge from cradle to grave. There is no age limit for learning. The formats of learning are different. The methods are different. But as you all know that in your professional fields, all of you keep yourself upgrading in your fields. The doctors are going to the conferences, the seminars, the engineers are going through the same, the accountants are going through the same, the businessmen, those who want to expand their businesses, they are also going through the same seminars and self-development programs. And you know, in every walk of the life, in every field, everybody who wants to remain growing and successful in their field and in their career, they must keep upgrading themselves. Continue education. That is how we have to do. We have to, first of all, in order to do that, be readers. And one of the problem of the third world is that they are not good readers. They only read the newspapers when they have all those stories about the opposition and government and accidents and those sort of things. We know, but they don't read the good materials. When parents don't teach, don't expect their children are going to be readers. So parents have to buy the books and then read the books. And if you will buy books and if you will read books, then you can expect that sometime your children will also read books. When we go and visit many of our brothers in faith at their houses, we see everything at their home except the shelves of books. You ask, brother, do you have Nahjul Balagha at your home? I want to check a reference. No, Maulana, we had back home there, but we don't have it here. Do you have Usul-e-Kafi? Do you have Quran? Do you have, sometimes you don't find even mohr to make the prayer. Unfortunately, Musalla. Do you have the Islamic books? Now we have hundreds of books available in Urdu and in English. And this is the time of CDs and the internet. But unfortunately, we are not in that business. My teacher, Marhum, Alallahu Maqamahu, would say in Urdu that हमारा मजहब पढ़ा पढ़ाया हुआ नहीं है, सुना सुनाया हुआ है. यानी जो भी नॉलेज है हमारे पास, ये सुना सुनाया हुआ है. अगर किसी से पूछ लें कि कहाँ लिखा हुआ है, एक हदीस का भी सही रेफरेंस पता नहीं. ये तो हमारा कोई नॉलेज, इसमें हम इतना इतराते हैं और समझते हैं कि हम बड़े नॉलेजेबल. जिंदगी हो गई हमें मजाले सुनते हुए मौलाना. हमने हाफिज किफायत साहब को सुना, हमने रशीद तुराबी साहब को सुना, मगर सुना ही ना सबको. कभी कुछ पढ़ा भी, सबको सुना, लेकिन खुद भी कभी कुछ पढ़ा नहीं. पढ़ने की हिम्मत नहीं है. दोस्तों, we need to read and at least a number of books like Quran, like Tafsir, like Nahjul Balagha, Sahifa Sajjadiyya, Usul-e-Kafi, Sirat Ameer al-Mu'mineen, Siratul Nabi, and the books on Karbala, and books on ethics and manners, Islamic ideology. There is variety of hundreds of books which every one of you must have at his home. You read or you don't, but still must have these books at home. Time to time, you will see that you will go ahead and you will look into these books. And your children will look into them. So we need to upgrade ourselves and be good readers. Then only reading is not going to help, my brothers and sisters. We need to enroll ourselves in these schools, these Sunday schools, these madaris. There are opportunities for learning, like the seminars what we are offering. And we have a plan, inshallah, from September, we will be offering a variety of programs in this city, which are designed to help you, and help your youth, and help the parents to upgrade themselves in understanding of Islam. That's the opportunity. But again, I know many of them will say, we don't have time. If you offer it next to my door, yeah, I will come and I will participate. Or if you can put it in the CD and just drop in my post office box, or put everything on the internet where I can just get it from my home. While I was reciting Majalis of Ashara in London, I was telling them that actually a time has come when people will ask, drive-in Islamic centers. You have the already drive-in McDonald's, but now there will be demand of drive-in Islamic centers. That Maulana, don't wait for us. You recite Majlis and put it in the CV and put it in the video or put it in the audio, and we will come and just deliver us that video or audio, and we will listen it in our car while we are driving, and we will just go back home. Salawat biji Babaji. It will just become like French fries. Huh? Just like, give me French fries, give me one majlis. And that is where we are heading, my brothers and sisters. Our priorities are changing. We don't value this knowledge. We don't value this importance of that. The distance is, if they tell there is something they are selling on sale, buy one and the second one is free, we are ready to drive all the way to the other part of city. Yeah. But when there is a class, when there is a knowledge, then it is too far. Come and give me at my home. But my brothers and sisters, that is not going to happen. We need to pay for it. And at least we need to pay attention, if not money. We need to pay attention. We need to give some sacrifice. Then attend in these majalis and in these seminars. Ulama come all the way. And then in these three majalis, like Friday and Saturday and Sunday, normally what I see, many of them just come one day, either Friday, either Saturday, either Sunday. Or like 2 days and then they don't. Then after that are your Sunday school, your madrasas, then these big buildings, locked. Only just open them once a while, do one program, and then after that there is nothing going on. Develop the programs. Develop the programs where you can always remain engaged in learning and teaching, and some sort of process where we are upgrading ourselves. Programs for sisters, programs for brothers, program for youth, program for professionals, program for working mothers, program for sisters who are just at home. So many programs can be developed and can be offered to the community to build the community and upgrade the community. But we need to do that. If we will not do that, then what is going to happen to us? We will not be able to keep our children, and we will not be able to keep their faith. So my brothers and sisters, these are some of the issues which are very important for us to keep in mind. And I just mentioned that because without doing that, only majalis will not serve the purpose. Once a while you come in majalis and listen some fazail and some masaib, and then get excited and get emotional, and then after that you think the Yazid Murdabad and Hussain Zindabad, and that is it. It is not going to. There is always Yazid and there is always Hussain. Kullu ardhin Karbala wa kullu yawmin Ashura. Every land is Karbala and every day is Ashura. That is what Iqbal had said, that I see everything, but I don't see any Hussein in this Qafila Hijaz. He says, I see everything, but I just don't see Hussein. Otherwise the challenges are same, the problems are same. World is full with these Yazid and Ibn Ziyad. World is full with all those evils and problems which were existing in the time of Yazid. Those problems are still there. One of the slogans which Imam alayhi salatu wasalam was giving, أَلَا تَرَوْنَ أَنَّ الْحَقَّ لَا يُعْمَلُ بِهِ وَالْبَاطِلَ لَا يُتَنَاهَ عَنْهُ. Don't you see that people are not practicing on haqq and they are not avoiding from batil? And in that situation, this is my responsibility to come out and advise people to do good and avoid from bad, and an amura bil ma'ruf wa anha anil munkar wa asira bisirati jaddi wa abi. He said, I have duty to go ahead and do amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar, and live the life of my grandfather and the life of my father. So, don't you see today that haqq is not being practiced? Don't you see today that the batil is still, people are not avoiding from batil? The reality is that they are opposing haqq and they are supporting batil. But the only thing what we don't have is that we don't have people that who can come and stand where Imam alayhi salatu wasalam was standing and do what Imam alayhi salatu wasalam taught us to do. We are only beating the past, what our Imam did, but we don't know what we are supposed to do in the light of what our Imam had done. It means Islam is only about past. Either we have to get excited and say Zindabad to the past, or we just get emotional and shed the tears on the tragedies of past. But the tragedies of today and the tragedies which we are going to face in the future, we are not concerned about. Is that logical? Things which already have happened and we have no control. In psychology, they talk about that the circle of influence and the circle of concern. That how people are productive and how they are unproductive. They say the unproductive people, their influence, their emphasis is all, they say there are two circles where we focus. One circle is called the circle of influence and one circle is called the circle of concerns. So the circle of concerns is, that brother is always late, not you. So, the circle of our concern is that this brother is always late, another brother. So the concern is that this brother, he always opposes the center. This person, he is always involved with that wrongful behavior. That person, his mentality is wrong. That person, his views are wrong. That person's way of talking is wrong. That person's way of doing things wrong. These are the concerns, the circle of concerns. And this area is, according to the psychologists and according to our traditions also, beyond my control. I cannot do anything in this regard. So I just have concerns about the behavior of other people which I cannot do anything to change. Yeah. And then there is a circle of influence where I know that there are certain things wrong with me which I can improve. Certain things are wrong and not right, but I have ability to fix them. My office, my management, my center, my family, myself have certain weaknesses and shortcomings, and this is the area of influence. So instead of focusing on the circle of this influence, most of the time our focus is on the circle of concerns. Negative, and then what happens, the most of the time goes in the tensions, in the criticism, in the sickness of mentality, and all burning, jalne, kudne, में सारा वक्त गुजर गया और जनाब कुछ भी हाथ में ना आया. But if we would just overlook from that what has already happened or is happening and I can't stop. Like politics in Pakistan. I will sit from the morning up till evening here and give advice, free advice to Benazir and Nawaz Sharif. I can sit down here and give free advice to Mr. Clinton and Al Gore. And I know that even if I go to them, they don't give me time to even visit. They are not ready to listen to me. And my this advice is just going in the air. Nobody is listening. Al Gore is not listening. Clinton is not listening. The Al Bright or Al Dark is not listening. So nobody is listening all that. I am just talking and wasting my time. This is the area which is called the area, the circle of concern. And same is the past. Because whatever has happened, it has happened. You cannot correct it. But the area, the circle of influence is the today and tomorrow. Is the present and the future. And things what I can do. That is the circle of the influence. But my brothers and sisters, we are not clear, we don't have that mental clarity. We are confused. We don't know what to do and what not to do. So basically, we spend our days and nights. That is why in business they say that you can be extremely busy but still totally unproductive. That is what they teach you in business, that you can be extremely busy but still totally unproductive because you are not focusing on the circle of influence. You are all focusing on the circle of concerns. My secretary is like this. My neighbor is like that. My brothers and sisters, if we want to correct ourselves, if we want to correct our centers, our families, our children, the only solution to that is that focus on the circle of influence. What can I do? Not what other people do. The other people will keep doing and you cannot go and stop them. But what can I do to change the situation? What my family can do? And how can I go and chip in and then help them to improve the situation? Not standing out and criticizing. But my brothers and sisters, again, we will need knowledge, we will need examples, we need teachers, instructors, environment, inspirational examples. And if we don't have that, we will not be able to focus. Now, come to the that point which we wanted to discuss and we discussed yesterday, some misunderstandings about the Islamic perspective of women. We clarified certain issues yesterday. One issue which we have to clarify quickly today is that if Islam says women are equal to men and they are not at the two different levels of superior and inferior, then why when Islam gives inheritance to the inheritors of deceased, Islam makes difference between son and daughter. Islam gives choice to male than to the female. Why is the difference between that? If they are equal, then why they don't have the equal share? My brothers and sisters, you all know that this deen of Islam, the halal and haram, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, it is based on rationality and logic. And the rationality and logic behind this particular issue of inheritance is, you know that a boy and daughter, both of them, as long as their father is alive and they are minor, their father is supposed to provide them. So their expenses are equal and the father is taking care of them at equal level, and he is not allowed, when he provides to his sons and daughters, to make any difference. Matter of fact, in ahadith and in the area of ilmul akhlaq, it is emphasized that when you bring the gifts, you prefer the daughter on the son. because they need your more emotional help, because knowing the nature of girls, their excitement. So as long as at the home they are with father, they are equal. But then after that, when they are grown, the man, he has to provide for himself, and he has to provide for his wife also. He is provider. He has to provide, it is his responsibility. So he is not depending on anybody. He is now self-sufficient, and he has to help himself. But when it comes to the woman, you know, woman, if she is daughter, she is being supported by the father. If she is the wife, then her nafqa is wajib on the husband. And if she is the mother, her nafqa is wajib on the son. In all these scenarios, there is someone who is responsible to provide her expenses. So she is provided the assistance by father, by husband, or by son. When she is provided and she is taken care of, even if she is receiving half of the man, actually she has got more than what this poor man has got. She has got even more than what this man has got, because man is getting and then spending again on the same people. On the wife, on the daughter, on the mother, and on the son and father, on everybody. He is the provider. While woman is not supposed to, it is not wajib on her, she is not obligated to spend on anybody, on husband or on anybody. So that is the area where we see the difference, because woman is going to be always either under the care of the father, or the husband, or the son. So somebody can say, what, that woman, she does not have father, he died, husband died, or the son is died, she does not have son, she has all the daughters. First of all, you know that problem occurs when we have only some Islamic rules in practice and some others are not being practiced. Then it becomes a blanket. When you put on the face, then the feet are bare, and you put on the feet, then your face and head is bare. That is what we face the problem. But if all the Islamic teachings and practices are in force there, then if by any scenario there is a woman, she does not have father, does not have husband, does not have son, there is Baitul Mal. The money of your zakat and khums is going in Baitul Mal. And there is a Baitul Mal which is going to provide her enough, which is going to take care of herself. So she is not left in the street. She is maintained and she is taken care of. And this is not anything wrong, that if she does not have anybody to provide, she can just go ahead and get from the Baitul Mal. So she is taken care of, she is maintained. And because she is maintained, so she does not need more than that. That is the issue what they have mentioned about the inheritance. There is another issue. But before I go to that, let me make one more point on this area. Because sometimes people will say, what if there is no Baitul Mal, or she has into this problem, and they will bring some rare kind of scenarios for only some persons. So the issue in Islam is the ahkam in every law, in every country. The law is made for the whole class. It is not made only for individuals. If the individuals are going to be in different situations, you cannot change that public law. The public law is made for the whole group. And then the exceptional cases are going to be dealt in exceptional manners. But you cannot change the major law. The major law will remain the same. But then if this major law does not apply to a handful number of people because of their exceptional situation, then there are exceptional ways to handle those individuals, but the major law will not remain changing. Otherwise, no law will be law, because no law suits to the needs of each and every individual in the society. Keep that in mind. Then the second issue is that about shahadat, the witness. Why women? There are two women equal to men to bring the witness. First of all, you know that people get confused between rights and duties. They bring this issue as a rights of women. When they want to talk about that, they are actually trying to be champions of the rights of women. But then they don't know that going and giving witness is not a right, actually that is a duty. That is a duty, and if Islam has given concession and waived a duty from women, actually Islam has given a favor to women. Islam has not put any burden on the woman. I come from a district of Pakistan which is known for these trials and cases and muqaddamas. Attak and these areas, Jhelum and Attak and this Miyawali, these are the areas which are full with the muqaddamas. You go in our courts and see in our session courts and in our civil courts. And we know that how hell it is when so many people every day come and knock your door that tomorrow can you come in court and give a shahadat on our behalf. Many times our fathers and our uncles, they have to just lie while sitting in home that tell that nobody is in the home. Because every day so many people come and bother you because they want to take you to the court and you want to give the shahadat on their behalf. Salawat. So basically it is a headache to go in the court, sit there for your turn, leave your family, leave your children, leave your everything at home, quit from now these jobs. People don't have come and listen the majalis, but they have time to go in the courts and give the witness and shahadat and testimony. So it is a headache, and then you know if you go as a shahid, as a witness with one party, even if this was shahadat bil haq, you know the other party and their reactions, how it is going to be. People don't forgive forever. They say, oh, इन्होंने हमारे खिलाफ शहादत दी थी अदालत में जाके. अदालत में जाके इन्होंने हमारे खिलाफ शहादत दी थी. वो तो हमारे अपने रिश्तेदार थे जिनके साथ हमारा झगड़ा था. कल हम झगड़े हैं, आज राजी हो गए. मगर इन्होंने हमारे खिलाफ जाके शहादत दी थी. तो होता क्या है कि when people go in the courts and support someone by bearing the witness or giving the testimony, then the animosities and the hostility develops, and these poor women don't know today she is wife of this man, tomorrow by the accident her husband is died and she might get married again in that family which she never thought today, tomorrow how she will go in that family where she was bearing a testimony against that family. Because it was very common in Arabs, and if we also don't follow our Indian culture, our women would also go through the same thing. As the Americans sometimes happens, like because in Arabic culture and even in Islamic culture, it is not advised that widow should not marry. Or a divorced woman should not marry again. It is recommended actually that a widow and divorced should marry. And if every widow and every divorced would marry, you know how many women from one family to the other family? From one block to the other block, from one neighborhood to the other neighborhood would go. They have not even thought about that. I don't have time to tell you, you will be astonished even among the companions of Prophet and companions of Imam and even among the Ahlul Bayt, that how many wives of so many people, how they came from one person to the other person. And this hate and hostility, this would kill these women. That was number one. And the other thing is, Islam does not support, Islam actually wants to keep women mostly in the environment, safe environment, which is home. Islam discourages to drag the woman into the judiciary system. And this is one way of discouraging that if you bring man, you have to bring one, but if you will bring woman, you have to bring two. Now if you tell me, if you are given this choice, that if you bring man, you have to bring one, but if you need to bring woman, you have to bring two, then what choice you will make? You have to drive all the way and pick one, and then go the other side and pick the other. So it would not be easier for you to go and bring one man instead of bringing two women? That is another incentive that Islam discouraged it in a so tactful way that these poor women should not get dragged in this judiciary system and all just coming and going in these courts. Salawat. And again, anyhow, as we said, this is not right, this is a duty. Giving the shahadat is a duty, and Islam has waived one duty from the woman. Islam has not deprived woman from a right. It is a duty, not a right. So that is the issue of the witness. But again, there are issues in Islam, because we don't want to go in the details of Islamic law and jurisprudence in this time in the majalis. Otherwise, there are issues and there are areas where, because man cannot bear the witness, there are issues where man cannot come and bear the testimony. Islam allows women to come and give the witness. Like this maid, Gaya, which comes and bears the witness that when there is dispute among two women, she says this newborn is mine, and the other one says no, this one is mine. So everyone wants to take the son, and she says no, this is, I had the son, and others say no, I had the son, and nobody wants to take the daughter. So who is going to bear the witness that how she delivered baby, son or daughter, the daya, which is a woman. So she will come and her testimony will be accepted. Again, in the transactions of money and in businesses and in certain special woman cases, again where man cannot come and test and check those things, again women will be accepted in the courts. But in the issues of necessity, otherwise Islam wanted to not drag women into this system. Now there are other issues also which need to be clarified, inshallah, in future discussions. I am planning that when we will finish these seminars, Karbala seminars, later on sometime we will initiate a series of the seminars on the topic of women in Islam. And then we will have more chance to talk about these things in more technical manner. Salawat. But my brothers and sisters, it is so pity to witness that the Islam and the Prophet, who did not want to drag any woman into the courts and did not want to bring women from the home environment to the outside world, what happened to the same family of the Prophet? Prophet did not want to bring any woman to the court. But what happens? That the daughters of Prophet were brought by the force in the courts. That is what makes us cry. We don't cry because of the shahadat of shuhada. As a man came and he asked from Imam Zainul Abidin, Mawla, whenever I bring food for you, whenever I offer you something, whenever I see you, you are crying. Mawla, how much you will cry? Mawla said, but you don't know that Yaqub had lost one Yusuf. And how much he cried? That Quran says that his eyes became white. How much that he cried? And I saw the 18 Yusuf and their dead bodies on the sand where they were not even buried. How you tell me that I should not cry on that? But he said, Mawla, but you don't say that ash-shahadatu lana karamat, that this shahadat is karamat for us, is honor for us. Mawla says, yes, shahadat is karamat for us, but bare head, my aunts and mothers and daughters and sisters, going there in courts and streets, is that also honor not honor for us. She got humiliated. That the daughters of Prophet, the daughters of Ali or Batul, they took them in the streets, they took them in the court. And the daughter of Ali or Batul, she stands in the front of Ibn Ziyad, in front of Ibn Ziyad. And then the same lady Muqaddasa, she stands in the front of Yazid. And then Yazid wants to talk to her and humiliates her. That is what we see, the pity that Islam, who was so generous to save the woman, to go in the streets and go in the courts. But these unfaithful and ungrateful Muslims, how they have responded to the Prophet and how they have responded to the family of Ahlul Bayt. But Azizan Girami, خواتین کا یہی لٹا پٹا قافلہ جب یزید کے دربار میں یزید کے سامنے کھڑا تھا. ایک مرتبہ روایت میں ہے کہ اس نے یزید نے ایک بچی کو کہ جو سامنے کھڑی ہے اس کے سامنے چہرے کے اوپر کچھ بال بھی ہیں اور اس نے اپنے ہاتھوں سے اپنے چہرے کو چھپایا ہوا, بات بھی کرتی ہے مگر اس نے اپنے ہاتھوں کو اپنے چہرے پہ رکھا ہوا ہے. اور ایک مرتبہ خطاب کر کے کہتا ہے کہ بچی کیا وجہ ہے کہ بات مجھ سے کرتی ہو مگر چہرے سے اپنے ہاتھوں کو نہیں اٹھاتی ہو. تو ایک مرتبہ رو کے کہا کہ دیکھو ہم رسول کی اولاد ہیں اور پردے کا مسئلہ ہے, اور باقی بیویاں جو ہیں ان کے چہرے بالوں سے ڈھکے ہوئے ہیں, میرے بال چھوٹے ہیں, میرا پورا چہرہ نہیں چھپتا, میں نے اپنے ہاتھوں سے اپنے چہرے کو چھپایا. پھر کیا عالم ہے کہ حسین کی بیٹی فاطمہ کبریٰ جو وہاں کھڑی ہیں ایک رسی میں بندھی ہوئی باقی بیویوں کے ساتھ, ایک شامی آگے بڑھ کے کہتا ہے کہ اے امیر یہ بچی مجھے کنیزی کے طور پہ دے دے, یہ بچی مجھے دے دے کنیزی کے طور پہ. ایک مرتبہ یہ سننا تھا کہ فاطمہ کبریٰ آگے بڑھتی ہے, پھوپھی کا دامن پکڑتی ہے اور کہتی ہے پھوپھی اماں کیا آج یہ دن بھی ہوگا کہ ہمارے بابا کو شہید کیا گیا, ہمارے بھائیوں کو شہید کیا گیا, ہماری چادروں کو لوٹ لیا گیا, اب ہمیں کنیز بھی بنایا جائے گا, ہمیں کنیز بھی بنایا جائے گا. ایک مرتبہ کنیزی کا سننا تھا, زینب نے اپنے سر کو جھٹکا اور کہا نہیں میری بچی آرام سے کھڑی ہو جا, دنیا مشرق سے مغرب میں بدل سکتی ہے مگر کوئی تجھے کنیزی بھی نہیں لے سکتا. یزید کی جرأت نہیں ہے کہ تمہیں کنیزی میں کسی کو دے سکے. ایک مرتبہ زینب کا یہ کہنا تھا, یزید کے جو نشہ شراب میں چور ہے, ایک مرتبہ خطاب کر کے کہتا ہے کہ نہیں اگر میں دینا چاہوں تو میں دے سکتا ہوں, اگر میں اس کو کنیزی میں دینا چاہوں تو دے سکتا ہوں. ایک مرتبہ یزید کا یہ کہنا تھا, زینب نے علی کے جلال میں آ کے جلال کے ساتھ یہ کہا یزید نہیں تو ایسا نہیں کر سکتا, ہاں اگر تجھے کرنا ہوگا تو ہمارے دین سے خارج ہونا ہوگا, ہمارے دین سے خارج ہونا ہوگا, ہمارے دین کے اندر رہتے ہوئے ہمارے نانا کا کلمہ پڑھتے ہوئے تو یہ نہیں کر سکتا ہے, تو یہ نہیں کر سکتا ہے. ایک مرتبہ یہی گفتگو چلی, شامی نے پوچھا یہ بی بی کیا کہہ رہی ہے, یزید تو ہمارے دین سے نکلے گا, یعنی یزید ان کے دین میں ہے. آگے بڑھ کے سوال کرتا ہے اے بی بی آپ کون ہے, کہا ہم آیت تطہیر کے مصداق ہیں, ہم آیت تطہیر کے مصداق ہیں, ہم رسول کی بیٹیاں ہیں. ایک مرتبہ شامی باہر نکلا, قصاب کی دکان پہ گیا, اپنے ہاتھ کو کٹواتا ہے, واپس آیا اپنے کٹے ہوئے ہاتھ کو فاطمہ کبریٰ کے پیروں کے اندر پھینکتا ہے, کہتا ہے بی بی یہ ہاتھ جس سے آپ کی طرف اشارہ کیا تھا میں کاٹ کے آپ کی خدمت میں پیش.
بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین ہائے کیا حال ہے تیرا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین سر کہیں ہاتھ کہیں جسم کہیں ہے تیرا سر کہیں ہاتھ کہیں جسم کہیں ہے تیرا ٹکڑے ٹکڑے ہیں سب اعضاء میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین بے حیاؤں نے تجھے گور و کفن تک نہ دیا بے حیاؤں نے تجھے گور و کفن تک نہ دیا کیا مسلمان بھی نہ سمجھا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین جانور نہر سے پیتے رہے پانی ہے جانور نہر سے پیتے رہے پانی ہے تیرا کنبہ رہ جاتا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین بے زباں کو بھی تیرے قتل کیا ظالم نے بے زباں کو بھی تیرے قتل کیا ظالم نے نن بچے کو بھی مارا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین 3 دن تک تجھے ایک بوند بھی پانی نہ ملا 3 دن تک تجھے ایک بوند بھی پانی نہ ملا کھانا سامنے دریا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین جلتی رہتی تیرے زخمی کو جلاتی ہوگی جلتی رہتی تیرے زخمی کو جلاتی ہوگی ہر لاش پر بھی نہیں سایا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین یاد خالق میں ستمگر نے چھری پھیری ہے یاد خالق میں ستمگر نے چھری پھیری ہے سر تیرا سجدے میں کاٹا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین گھوڑے دوڑائے تیری لاش پہ بے دینوں نے گھوڑے دوڑائے تیری لاش پہ بے دینوں نے تیری میت کو بھی روندا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین تجھ کو پرسا بھی عزیزوں کا کسی نے نہ دیا تجھ کو پرسا بھی عزیزوں کا کسی نے نہ دیا ہم دیکھتے تھے تجھے آنا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین حال زینب کا ذرا دیکھے تو غیرت والے حال زینب کا ذرا دیکھے تو غیرت والے میرے دا ہے تیری بھیا میرے مظلوم فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین حشر تک ابھی اسی جنگل میں تجھے رہنا ہے حشر تک ابھی اسی جنگل میں تجھے رہنا ہے تیرا مدفن ہے یہ صحرا میرے مظلوم حسین فاطمہ کہتی تھی بیٹا میرے مظلوم حسین ہائے کیا